Hi, I'm Steve. You're watching Gear Stuff and Things, and today we're going to talk about my top 5 Helix dirty amps. Stick around. All right, so like I said at the beginning, top 5 Helix dirty amps. These are my go-tos for specific genre stuff, but mostly anything dirty and aggressive. These are the amps that I tend to seek out first. So we'll just start with number 1 of the 5, which is the Placator Dirty, which is essentially a Friedman amp, the 100-watt Friedman amp. And a lot of folks like Mastodon and Alice in Chains, so on and so forth, use this amp as their primary tone. At least Bill from Mastodon does for sure, because he even has some stuff available for the Helix as far as downloads with presets he's created. But anyhow, it's my go-to for anything that is not, let's say, modern metal. So anything from standard rock to hard rock, and even some more metal-oriented stuff or post-rock stuff, I tend to use it. It's just a souped-up Marshall. It sounds great. It really sits well in a mix, and let's check that out for a second. All right, so amp number 2 out of my top 5. This is going to be the Archetype Lead. I love this amp for super high gain stuff. It's very articulate with a little bit of drive in front of it, like the TS9 clone that's in there, or even the new Horizon drive. You're going to get amazing tones, stuff that's really punchy, real articulate, handles low notes very well, has a proper balance once you've tweaked it a bit. Arguably, at least in my opinion, it may be the best high gain sounding amp inside of Helix. It's super versatile and just sounds great for chuggy stuff. So let's check that out. All right, and up next, number 3 on the list out of 5 is the Derailed Ingrid. Now, I'm not totally familiar with exactly what this amp was modeled around or built to sound like, but I know what it sounds like to me, and that is awesome. It sounds great. It's a really unique sounding distortion. It's a little honky in the mid-range, but sometimes that's what you're going for, and you want something that's more, I don't know, friendly with certain types of tunings and riffs. And for me, this is something that sits well in maybe like a noise rock vibe. So if you're doing something, I don't know, along the lines of Helmet or something, this is a tone that really sits great in that. And when I'm doing videos here on YouTube, I tend to do a lot of different genres and try to focus on almost everything as best I can, as far as having different tones and different genres represented, using the Helix and baritones and other things of that nature. But this is my go-to for anything that is more single note driven, like low single note driven, and noise rockish. So let's check that out. All right, and number 4 on my list out of 5 is basically it's Line 6's Ubershaw. It's the Ubersonic. For this example, I'm using a Bass 6 along with the Horizon Devices drive in order to get a really nice, saturated, thick sounding distortion, which Bogner is typically known for, the mid-range and mid-low frequency stuff. Sounds incredible, comparable to the Friedman a little bit, but definitely has its own character. It's a little more squishy, for a lack of a better term. I'm not really sure how else to describe it. It sounds really great with single coils, especially stuff that is tuned low. It's a really good way to get something that sounds thick and fills your mix really great, but also doesn't take away from the natural character of the instrument you're playing. So here is number 4, the Bogner, or the Ubersonic, from the fine folks at Line 6. So let's check this one out. All right, and up last, number 5. Number 5 of 5. This is my go-to for anything that is sludgy and then it's doomy, that I don't want to add additional fuzz or fizz or some sort of HM2 or Big Muff style thing too. So this is my go-to if I just want a nice sludgy tone that feels really good in a doom style mix. Sounds good on low-tuned guitars, particularly baritones. It's my go-to tone if I'm using my EGC baritone here. It just sounds amazing with it, so that's what I've used for the example today. Yeah, I'm using the Line 6 Doom patch. Yep, I wasn't very inventive, right? Doom. It dooms. It works in a doomy scenario. It's the best sounding amp. Just plug and play for doom stuff on the Helix, and contrary to popular belief, it is not designed after a Sun. It's just a highly modified Marshall. So as you can tell, a lot of my tones are kind of, British derivative, but I just think that they fill out the mix better. I personally like a lot of mid-focus in my mixes and in my guitar tones. So this is no exception. However, this one's a lot more muddy and, yeah, doomy, for a lack of a better term. So let's hear number 5. Alright, so that about does it for today. Those are my top 5 dirty amps inside of Helix. If this is something you enjoyed and you'd like to see more of it, please let me know in the comments. Let me know what your top 5 go-to amps are inside of Helix or whatever modeler you're using. Or if you're someone who just uses straight up amps, let me know what your go-to amps are. I love to hear about this stuff. It's really something I'm excited about. I'm excited to dive more into Helix specific content here. I know there's no shortage of it here on YouTube, but I'm just kind of giving you my take on it. And if you haven't gotten them already, I have 2 Helix preset packs available to you for free. The links will be in the description. I appreciate all of the kind words in relation to the folks that have grabbed my most recent one. You'll have the card up here in the corner to that one. So it's been me, it's been you. This is Gear Stuff and Things. This is a dinosaur named Earl from the 90s sitcom Dinosaurs. And he hangs out in here in the studio. He's very blurry right now, but rest assured I'll fix that. Until next time,